it's time for your 420 Radio News for Tuesday, April 23rd, 2013. I'm Russ Belville. Witness to 420 shooting describes being up close when it happened, from CBSDenver.com. A man police were searching for as a person of interest in the shooting that happened at 420 at the Denver Civic Center Park. And we have some video for that we're going to show you right now. Let's see. A man police were searching for at the park as a person of interest in the shooting of 3 people during the 420 marijuana celebration has talked to police and was not arrested. The non-fatal shooting disrupted what had been a peaceful gathering. Thousands ran for their lives after shots rang out, and some people were trampled and suffered injuries. The video shows people scattering from near where the shots were fired. Sonny Jackson, a Denver police spokesman, said, quote, "We believe it's probably one shooter, but there's 2 individuals that might have information or were involved." The video shows people scattering. The Denver police are still looking for a black man who was wearing a gray hoodie, black slacks, and a blue Carolina baseball hat. He was he was described as being 6 foot tall and about 180 pounds. A band was on stage, but the music suddenly stopped when gunfire rang out and the show was over. Symes Carter was among those performing. "I'm rapping and I hear pop, 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 and I look to the right of me and I just see people tumbling down the hills, running, I mean thousands of people running," Carter said. Authorities so far haven't said what the circumstances were that might have led to the shooting. It happened in an area of the park where people were attending a loud rap concert. A man and a woman each suffered gunshot wounds, and a third person was grazed by a bullet. The Supreme Court has made a ruling on marijuana and deportation from the New York Times. The social sharing of a small amount of marijuana by immigrants lawfully in the United States does not require their automatic deportation, the Supreme Court ruled on Tuesday. Quote, "Sharing a small amount of marijuana for no remuneration, let alone possession with intent to do so, does not fit easily into the everyday understanding of trafficking, which ordinarily means some sort of commercial dealing," end quote. Justice Sonia Sotomayor wrote for the 7-justice majority, partly quoting from an earlier case. The case arose from a traffic stop in Georgia in 2007, during which Adrian Moncrief, a Jamaican citizen, was found with 1.3 grams of marijuana, the equivalent, Justice Sotomayor wrote, of about 2 or 3 marijuana cigarettes. Democrats call for federal commission on marijuana from thehill.com. Representative Steve Cohen, Democrat of Tennessee, on Thursday introduced a bill to create a national commission on federal marijuana policy, which would examine the conflicts created by state laws that allow marijuana use and the federal prohibition on marijuana. The new commission would study how federal laws should be reconciled with state laws, the cost of federal prohibition on marijuana, and how the federal government should place marijuana in the Schedule of Controlled Substances Act. It would also examine the health impacts of marijuana and racial disparities and other consequences related to marijuana possession. Cohen noted that a National Commission on Marijuana Use was set up in 1971, and it released a report in 1973 that called for the decriminalization of the drug. In the 4 decades since the Schaefer Commission, however, the federal government has only expanded its war on drugs and continued to prohibit the use of marijuana, a statement from Cohen's office said. Horizon Air trying to fire pilot who used marijuana, from OregonLive.com. Horizon Air wants a judge to stop a pilot who was fired from using marijuana from returning to the cockpit, a news website said. The Seattle-based airline fired pilot Brian Milam after he failed a random drug test in November of 2011, and he acknowledged smoking to cope with back pain and other issues, the Seattle Post-Intelligencer reported on Monday. The firing was challenged by the Airline Professionals Association, and an arbiter ruled in the union's favor, saying Horizon failed to fully review Milam's record before firing him. Horizon filed a lawsuit last week in federal court asking the judge to throw out the arbiter's ruling. Mark Hutchison, an attorney representing Horizon, said, quote, "Horizon is not willing to place an impaired pilot back in the cockpit. Doing so would violate federal law and contravene a well-settled public policy prohibiting a pilot from flying while using drugs," end quote. The drug test was conducted to meet federal requirements designed to ensure pilots are not abusing alcohol or using drugs illegally. Malam acknowledged the drug test was properly administered and that he had been smoking marijuana, but never on duty or the night before an early shift. And that's your 420 Radio News for Tuesday, April 23rd, 2013. I'm Russ Belville. When we come back, we go behind the headlines and take a look at